He was called the Monster of 63rd Street, a Chicago mass murderer whose exploits in the late 1800s far surpassed even Jack the Ripper's. Yet his gruesome story is rarely heard these days, and filmmaker John Borowski wants to change that.
Why are we here at 63rd and Wallace?
Because this is the location of H.H. Holmes' Castle of Horrors.
H.H. Holmes, sort of America's first serial murderer.
Master criminal and con man.
This was the location of a castle that he built pretty much to kill people, didn't he?
Yes, he designed his building solely for disposing of bodies. Holmes came to Chicago in 1886. He built his building starting around 1888 when the Jack the Ripper murders were occurring. And he rented rooms out during the World's Fair.
And people would check into this hotel of his and never check out. It was like a roach motel in a way.
Exactly. He had gas lines leading to the rooms of the unfortunate victims that stayed there so he could gas them to sleep, take their valuables, take their bodies, throw them down the chute from the 3rd floor to the basement, cremate them or make skeletons and sell them to local medical schools. He had acid vats, a crematorium, dissection tables, vats of quicklime. He knew how to get rid of bodies.
He had a stretching machine that would stretch people.
The elasticity determinator. He wanted to stretch people to 2 or 3 times their normal length while they were alive. And it was very much a medieval rack.
How did he avoid having the people that built the actual castle, how did they not figure out, hey, he's setting up a murder chamber here?
Since he designed the building on his own, he would hire and fire contractors every other day, so no one but him knew the exact layout. So sometimes there would be a door that led nowhere. It would be a brick wall or a staircase that led nowhere, but it was meant to disorient his victims if they ever got away from him. He also had peephole in his doors, so he could look through and see people suffering or suffocating or what have you. He had a walk-in vault that he would lock his secretaries in and suffocate them.
He was married several times.
He was a polygamist. He was married to 3 women at the same time, and he had mistresses.
How did he eventually get caught?
He was caught over a life insurance scam that he tried to enact in Philadelphia. The Pinkerton detectives were sent cross-country to find him. He wrote his own autobiography when he was in prison, and then, of course, he was his own attorney at his trial, too.
So he's got these insurance scams going. He's married to several women. He's murdering people right and left. Apparently went to medical school and then represented himself. The guy was busy.
Yeah, very busy.
Whatever happened to the darn castle?
The castle was actually burned down. It could have been outraged citizens that didn't want the building to become into a murder museum. That could have happened. No one knows.
You're making a film about H.H. Holmes.
Yes.
H.H. Holmes, America's first serial killer. Holmes's original name was not Holmes.
No. His original name was Herman Webster Mudgett. And no one knows why he changed it, but...
Well, come on, I mean, if I was named Mudgett, I would probably be changing it too. You used your apartment for some of the filming.
This was a fake wall used in the film, and what would happen is some unsuspecting victim would open a door, and what we did, we had this brick wall mounted here, so... This is a 1/16th scale model of a gallows that was built specifically for the film. His trial was held 1895 in Philadelphia, and that's where he was tried and hung. And at his request, which they carried out, he wanted concrete poured on top of him in his casket, and then he wanted to be put 10 feet in the ground and more concrete poured on top of him.
So nobody would play with his cadaver like he had played with so many others.
Exactly.
How many victims did he end up having? Do they know?
No one knows for sure how many people Holmes actually killed. He confessed to 27 murders.
There are estimates that he may have killed as many as 100 people.
No one really knows how many people he could have killed. If he needed to get rid of a body without anyone knowing, he had the crematorium in the basement. He also had quicklime vats. Yeah, I think hundreds.
John Borowski, if somebody wants to find out more about H.H. Holmes, the serial killer, or your movie, what should they do?
They can visit the official film website at www.hhholmesthefilm.com.
All right, put the hacksaw away. That's just creepy.